What's up, guys? How's everything? My name is Alexander Sancho. I am a graduate from Florida International University with a master's degree in piano performance. I am also a film composer and music producer. So aside from understanding piano technique and in-depth repertoire for the instrument, I am also composing for film and producing music for artists and being in the music industry. With that being said, I'd like to talk today about an accompaniment pattern for your left hand in the classical style. So one very common fundamental pattern is the Alberti bass. So if, let's say, we were in the key of C minor, right? An Alberti bass would sound or look something just like this, right? And then you've probably heard that pattern many times throughout Clementi's music, Mozart, Beethoven. And you can use that to accompany. But what I like to do personally is kind of open that up. So instead of just keeping it in this 5-finger pattern hand position, I kind of like to open it up. And let's say let's try the octaves. So we have this C going to this C, right? And what we could do here is maybe do this, and that can work fine. You know, wherever it's necessary, that can totally work. But what I like to do when I accompany or when I improvise, I like to open up and take this third, the E flat, and kind of put it the octave above and use the G, the fifth, as kind of my pivot. So we're here, and what that does is it now opens up my range. It just expands my range and the sound a little bit more. And you have to think about it also in the practical sense. For example, if you were playing in a church and you were accompanying the choir, you want to support those voices. You want to inspire and have them move and feel that their voices are supported and not just thin and open and naked, without any sound underneath it. So when you do that, you kind of start to swirl the sound, and it's just an arpeggio. It's just 3 notes. You have your 1, your 3, and your 5. But when you have now opened it up, and the sound now is kind of filling the air a little more, and it's just fuller overall, right? And you can do that. If that was your 1 chord, you can do that for every other chord in the chord progression, So you had like 1 and then 4, which is F minor, you can do that there, right? And then if you did 5, that's your G, right? And G major right there. If you did 5 of 5, and then 5, it's once you get the hang of it, it's actually fairly easy to do. So let's say you're doing the 1 chord, 4 chord, and then the 5 of 5 like I did earlier, and then 5. So now let's talk a little bit about the technique and how to do that, because obviously that's one of the hard parts, right? To actually develop technique in piano. And yes, maybe I make it look effortless, but the thing is, it's a lot of years in practice, but it's also how I approach it. I like to think of it as not with my fingers, because that creates kind of tension when you try to get the note. I think of it with my forearm. My forearm is like in my elbow. It's like a stick that gets my hand into the right position. You see, even though I'm doing this, it is my forearm that gets me there. Yeah? So it's my forearm getting me into the right spots before I even play. So before I play this A, I'm not stretching for it. It's like my forearm is getting me there, and then, right? So try to incorporate that when you improvise, when you accompany, instead of maybe just keeping it stagnant with the Alberti bass in that 1 position that's limited within that octave. All right? And if you guys have any questions, by all means, please feel free to ask. I will try to answer in the best way possible. All right? Thanks very much for your time, and I hope you enjoyed that.